No matter your age, your plan for retirement can start today. From the News Channel 5 Network, this is the Retirement Report.
Good morning. Welcome to the Retirement Report. I'm Hank Parrott, your host. All right, we're going to be talking some investing this morning. You know, it's been a while since I've addressed this in a detailed way, but to talk about how investing works, how investing in the markets work. Many times I have clients come in, new clients that come in and show me what they've been doing in the past, that show their portfolios, and we're doing an investment analysis for them. And one of the things we find when we look at those portfolios is we see that there's not a lot of planning in here. There are things that they may have picked up at different times. Maybe they've had different advisors over the years, or maybe just the advisor they're using has said, oh, this looks good right now, or this looks good, or they're doing it themselves and it's much the same thing. So there's not an actual cohesive plan to their portfolios. It's just kind of happenstance in terms of how they happen to put these things together or have accumulated them over the years. And as such, then when we do the analysis, we find there's a lot of risk in there. Now, when the markets are going up, as we've had for the past year, that's not such a bad thing, right? It's like as Warren Buffett has said, high tide floats all boats, in using that metaphor with the market. So when the market's doing well, then it can make things that aren't that great look well, look like they're doing better. So here's what that means. Basically, what it means is that there's like hidden times bombs, particularly in these portfolios. And what we see is in different market conditions, when the market does go down, and this is the other part, if you're investing in the stock market, you know you're going to have negative years. That's part of being invested in the stock market. But over the long term, you're going to make more money. The market, we don't know, right? We don't know what it's going to do next year. No one does. Or in the next 3 years or 5 years for that matter. But over the long term, it's always gone up. Now, understanding how the markets work can help you develop an investment plan that will work for you. And here's the key. When it comes to retirement, let's think about this, right? What's going to happen when you retire? Those paychecks are going to go away. How are you going to make up the difference? Maybe you're going to have Social Security, right? Are you going to have a pension? If not, are you going to have any other income sources, maybe rental property? Are you going to work in retirement? And if so, how much are you going to make there? And then finally, what's going to be the thing that's going to give you the money that you need to maintain your standard of living and quality of life? It's going to be your investments, right? Your retirement accounts. So understanding how the market works, how the stock markets work, are so critical to succeeding here and not running out of money during your lifetime. So I'm going to help you with that this morning. We're going to get into the science of investing. I'm going to show you some things. This is based on 50 years of Nobel Prize winning academic research, so we know the things now that work. Okay, we know how to construct a portfolio in such a way that we can get the desired rate of return that we're seeking, that market return. Now, when we're looking at this academic research and we're seeing how to put together the portfolio, this is one of the things that comes into play as well. It starts with the original financial planning. How much money do you need to make on your money? What's the needed rate of return to attain and maintain your standard of living, quality of life, and never run out of money? And what is the most recent research that's been incorporated into the last 50 years of research to help us attain this goal even easier? All right, so here's something to keep in mind. Dalbar, independent research group, when it comes to investors, what do they tell us? Well, one of the things, if we look at it, one study shows over the last 30 years, the average return on the S&P about 10.3%. Average investor, though, only 3.66, about 1/3. Now, to put that into context, when we're looking at a study like that, it's looking at the 80s and 90s, two of the strongest back-to-back decades in the history of the stock market. All right, so let's take a look in more recent times. So over the last 10 years, as an example, the average return on the S&P 500 index, about 7.5%. All right, now if we think about that, what does that mean for the average investor? Yeah, less than 3%. So if you're getting about 2.5 to 3% on your money, depending on what you're looking at as far as inflation, you're making less than 1%, if that, on your money. So how can we improve that? Because that's not going to be a way to sustain your quality of life, your standard of living throughout your retirement years. So one of the ways to do that, no, by the way, here's the other thing. Not only does the average investor get 1/3 the return of the market, but they actually had higher volatility, higher risk than the market. So they had more risk and less return. And what do we think of when we think of how to improve our returns? Well, if we increase our risk, we're going to improve our returns? Not necessarily. It depends on the biggest determinant of what you're going to make is how you construct your portfolio. And I'm going to talk about that. All right, but first, for the first 10 callers, we're going to offer up to you again, right? If you'd like to get an analysis, an investment analysis, and also see what your financial future looks like, all you need to do is call my number, 615-376-5325. Call the office. Tess is standing by. She'll get your information. And what she'll do is she'll send you a checklist of things to bring to your meeting with me. All right, this checklist is things, of course, like we'll need. Statements, your Social Security statement. We'll show you how to get that if you don't have it. All of that's on the checklist and some basic information. You'll bring that to the appointment. We'll then do up a plan and show you a personalized plan just for you to show you how that works, all at no cost. So again, for the first 10 callers to my office, 615-376-5325. Tessa's standing by to get your information. She'll send you out the packet, and I'll look forward to seeing you, all right? And when you come in, by the way, I'll give you a free copy of my book, 7 Steps to Financial Freedom in Retirement. Okay, now we're going to jump right into this. Separating myths from truths. Let's take a look at this. When you're looking at the markets, if you look at the history of the markets, if you really want to understand how the stock market works and how to make it therefore work for you, let's talk about how that works. First off, we need to dispel some investing myths, some things that are believed to be true that are not. The next is telling the academic story of investing. So I'm going to share with you what that science of investing is and all the research that's been done and the proof that's there to show what actually works. And of course, ideally, once you've got that portfolio put together correctly and you know now, right, you're going to have some peace of mind. You're going to know, okay, I'm doing the things I need to do to succeed. I'm not going to have to worry anymore about what's going on with the market. I know that I have got my plan in place. All right, so let's look at dispelling the myths. On the next one, a myth, a story made up to explain a phenomenon beyond the science of the day. Well, we have science today to do that. So some common investing myths are: 1, stock selection. So this is one of those that comes in where you believe, if you think about it this way, when questions that you might ask if you were talking to your investment advisor, or questions that may be asked are like on stocks. Okay, what stocks should I buy? What stocks are good stocks to buy? Well, there's wherein this myth lies, as if someone would know which stock to purchase, which stock might outperform the market, or which stock may be around even in 5 or 10 years, right? Yes, we can go with blue chips, we can go with large caps, we can find ways that we can help to improve upon that, but the reality is stock selection, okay, isn't how you're going to beat this game when it comes to investing. All right, the second is track record investing. That somehow, you know, what's your favorite mutual fund, you know, which is the big name money manager maybe running that you're looking at. Well, one of the things we also are going to talk about is what's called track record investing, and that's looking at what a money manager has done in the past and to see if there's any kind of correlation to that occurring again in the future. Market timing. This is one of the big ones. Where do you think the market's going, right? Do you think it's going to go up next year, or do you think we're due for a bear market? These are some common questions I get all the time. And again, I know what I don't know, okay? And what I don't know is what the market's going to do next year, or in the next 3 years or 5 years. It's not about that when you come to investing in the market, because that's the kind of thing where people are looking to get in or out of the market, right? They're trying to determine, you know, should I get in? Should I maybe sit on the sidelines for a period? Maybe I'll pull back and go more in cash. You even see money managers that do this, and this is a great way to get in trouble, and we'll show you how that works. Cost of investing is another one. Understanding that there are hidden costs of investing, and understanding what those are and how they can impact your returns. Even in this, by the way, works not only if you're investing in the stock market individually, but also this goes if you're investing in your 401k. Yes, there are costs in your 401k. Understanding what those costs are, and it's not just the costs that you can get disclosed to you by asking your custodian, but it's also the costs that are hidden in the form of transaction costs and commissions and like that on trade commissions. We're going to get into that so you'll understand how this works, so you can make the market work for you, get the most out of your investments, all right? But first, we're going to take a quick break. Join us here. We'll be right back on the Retirement Report.